Hello, this is Brian Resney, President of Resney Wealth Management. I'm bringing you an important update about the economy and the investment market so you can better understand what we see in the global landscape. You know, we're off to an excellent start with first quarter earnings in the U.S. In fact, many companies are exceeding estimate on the numbers that were put out by many of the analysts. This is actually a very, very good positive. While we saw just a slight pullback in the markets between 3 and 5%, again, as I've tried to educate all of our clients, these are natural and they occur often a dozen times in any calendar year. So again, expect it, and that's a way that the market refreshes and you have an opportunity to go to new high ground. But earnings really drive equity-based prices. If earnings grow, there's a good likelihood that stock prices will actually go up along with it. People have talked repeatedly. I read a lot of headlines in different publications, and I talk about the talking heads on some of the news programs, which I totally don't agree with, which basically is there a market correction coming? Is the market going to sell off 30 or 40%? One day, is there a possibility of that? Sure, if we have another big recession. I think that's not imminent for a long time, though. At the end of the day, you're going to get these little bumps in the road. But earnings are growing. Corporations are financially strong. The consumer is in excellent shape and getting even better. This all bodes well for an improving U.S. economy. By the way, statistically, this was one of the weakest recoveries coming out of any recession. GDP wasn't as high as it normally would have been. So what I think we're going to see is a prolonged expansion in the U.S. economy. So even though it came slower than normal out of the recession, the expansion of the U.S. economy, that actually can be a net positive because now the expansion may last another 3 to 5 years. Of course, we're watching our indicators for recessionary indicators and reasons we would want to exit, let's say, the equity market, but we're seeing no signs of recession for at least another 9 to 12 months. And of course, we refresh or review those on a daily basis, but typically we can get a good glance 9 to 12 months out and have a good handle what we see in the growth of the U.S. economy. The general world economy is also improving and doing slightly better. Again, this bodes well for us, and it bodes well for other sectors of the market. I'm looking at the 10-year on the Treasury on interest rate yield, and of course we're close back up to that 2.75. Remember, I've repeatedly warned investors, if you own intermediate, long-term bond or bond mutual funds or ETFs, you may want to consider seriously reducing or selling that exposure. Interest rate sensitive investments, in my opinion, are going to be your biggest risk asset over the next 3 to 5 years, and probably one of your lowest return investment on a total return basis, and there's potential losses. One of the most overvalued sectors that we see today of all sectors around the world are high yield bonds. I'm glad to say none of our clients own high yield bonds or bond funds, and if you are not a client of our firm, I would seriously consider, again, reviewing your holdings and considering either reducing or eliminating high yield bond exposure. High yield bonds are very correlated to the U.S. stock market, so that means in a recession they can go down as much as the stock market. The problem is there's very little upside on high yield bonds now, and the interest is extremely low. In fact, it's probably the lowest we've seen in over 20 years. So a little upside potential, a very low interest, but a huge downside negative. So again, make sure you review your holdings if you're not a client. Of course, if you're a client of our firm and you have a question, please call us. If you're a client and you have referrals for our firm, we always appreciate your business and your referrals. I do have a live show this Wednesday in Southwest Florida on TV that will be uploaded, of course, on our website the next day, and I will have another radio show this Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon Eastern. If you're not a client and you want to experience the benefits of working with us, please call my office for a consultation. There is a difference, and we invite you to experience it. Have a great and profitable day.